If you haven't been paying attention, this season is exposing sociopaths in this pug community, and you're going to see perhaps the most exposed one I have seen. We've looked a lot from my stream as well, and it kind of makes sense in like the hierarchies and stuff. You can see it, like the more stressful the content, the more you expect something like this to actually happen. Today we're talking about a 7 Halls of Atonement. All right. Yeah, we should probably get right to it. So the bottom right is where the info is. Probably gonna be really hard to see the death counter, okay? But they're gonna have a hell of a run here. This is not gonna go well for them, and it's gonna start right out of the gate here. We're gonna pull all of this stuff. I guess I'm not necessarily shocked that this key goes poorly on low keys, because it has been a nightmare for me on higher keys as well. There's so many things that can go wrong, like not kicking or patrols and stuff like that. But our first death is going to actually be to the shaman healer just not surviving that. Not 100% sure what that is. I'm assuming a combination of things, but his health's just like low. It's just like not going up. Like he's just not healing himself for a long period of time. He's sitting well below 50 for like 5 to 10 seconds here. I always try to give the benefit of the doubt, but this like behavior is what's ultimately going to catapult this group into calamity. And we're talking about less than 1 minute into the key where the healer just basically seems to let himself die. Like I see he's been casted on a few times, but other than that, it's like, well, why are you not healing yourself? His health is literally just not going up. So anyway, he's gonna die, but I think what really causes the problems is that right there. You might have missed it. Pay attention to the demon hunter. His name is Anub Ambrosia. I'm not sure how he has a 2-part name like that. That's really cool, actually. I don't know how you do that, but anyway, yeah, he's gonna go ahead and move to the right to dodge those. And honestly, this is partially because of where we're tanking this. You're kind of setting your group up for failure here, but he is going to move that direction. We actually have 2 demon hunters, by the way. 2 demon hunter DPS, also setting your group up for failure. We are aggroing the slasher. So you guys know about my struggles with this mob. That demon hunter does not die to it, but the paladin is going to. I love this. He's just standing still facing the side with Stonefisk, and he's going to get knocked off the entire continent of Shadowlands. He's going to come back, and we're going to have more deaths along the way. So it's going to be our second death to that guy dying, then our third death to trying to move away and leap away from that. And the shaman is actually going to die again on the way back. I'm not really sure how, to be honest. Let's watch that. I think this literally is just, again, he doesn't fucking heal himself. Like he just gets back here and just dies. Like he doesn't get meleeed. He's just dead to the everything else yet again. There's only like 3 mobs left. He eats another bolt and then just comes back and just again fails to heal himself to full health here from a mechanic that is like, this is normal. So now the problems begin. We have 4 deaths on the first pack, and the shaman says, let's abandon this. We're talking about a 7. We have 4 deaths in. We did bloodlust, but we didn't even wipe. Everything's dead other than the mob we don't want to actually pull there. I'm very happy to see things go the way they are. People are going to really heavily resist that. The paladin says it's a 7. Now we could have stopped there and it still would have been a video, but the guy escalates it way further. He says, what, you're fucking dog shit, after dying twice to simply not healing himself. Like, I don't know, you guys fucking tell me. Is there any other reason that you would die in a 7 as a healer? Your dumbass got yeeted off the fucking map. At this point, we come to a little bit of a crossroads in the review, and I just want to take a moment to break down what's actually happening here with the tank. It's probably more obvious if you're in the actual key, but from the recording, we can't tell. This person is actually a 3K player. They are going to comment on that in the key, but it's not obvious who they're talking to. They're talking about the tank. They're always ret. Every single key they've done is ret, okay? So you're going to see all of their keys. They've done multiple 13s now as ret, but then when you look at their tank score, you realize this person doesn't tank, okay? And so something's going to come up. We'll come back to that, but I just wanted to make that very clear, because this person's reacting to watching a 3K score player, probably assuming that the guy actually tanks all the time, dying. That's some justification that I think you guys need to have. Anyway, he replies saying, "You're shit," like basically just throwing that back in his face. The demon hunter, one of the demon hunters, says, "Do the dungeon, stop typing, ego away, do the dungeon. Good luck without a healer." Well, you died twice to not healing yourself, so what the fuck do we need you for? The warrior says, "We have 2 demon hunters and a warrior. We don't even need them." Now, this is really funny because this is going to get brought up a lot. The guy says he's 889 IO healer. I'm important. So we take a look at him, and I guess he's gotten some scores since. He's now up to 1600. The guy's double upgraded 3 10s, but doesn't even have all the keys. Let's now take a look at those 3 10s. They might be interesting to some of you guys. Before you do that though, like you typically look at other keys, like how did the guy get the 10 in the first place? Are there keys that would have gotten him a 10? I don't see them. I don't really see them. So it's like a little suspect. They're not like ridiculously high score people, but they are all way higher than he is. The one that really stands out to me is this one. There's one guy who's 3400 in this key. So I know people do 10s just for vaults and stuff like that. It's not impossible or anything like that, but but it does make me think like, all right, maybe he paid for this. You guys can form your own opinions on that, but again, just something I wanted to show you. This guy says, it's not my fault. This tank has weapons grade autism. Again, what are you even fucking talking about, bro? He died. Who cares? Like, I really don't understand it. So they're talking about his IO again, which honestly not a great thing to do, but they're talking about it, and then the guy says, this tune was boosted yesterday. All right, well, maybe that's not what you want to say in response to that being in a 7, but anyway, it might be true. Always the easy way to solve this conversation. Just tell us your main, right? A lot of people do this and they just lie. They'll be like, I'm max from limit. You guys don't even know me. That's easy, right? Just fucking do that, right? Instead, he does this. What's your main's name? He says, go fuck yourself, Area 52. Okay, so you're a liar. Like, I mean, it's very easy to tell. You could literally lie about it. You could link somebody else's character and you won't even do that. Anyway, they are legitimately going to continue without issue. Did you notice they pulled the entire shard of healthiest without a healer and nobody was in any danger whatsoever? The tank says, we're doing it without you. Seems like you're the issue. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I would look at it on the first pack too. He says, the funny part is that I'll still get loot at the end if you do the key. Oh, that's the funny part. This is always funny too. They say this shit. The guy says, no, you won't. You'll get 4 reports. And the shaman says, do you think I care about being reported? Yes. You're playing World of Warcraft. You must care. If you get banned from World of Warcraft, you won't be able to get loot anymore. So then the shaman says something that's not correct. He says, well, that's actually, he's been doing that the whole time. But anyway, he says, you know what's bannable? Having 3k IO and being a complete fucking idiot. That is not bannable. I can confirm that. The shaman then says, you guys are doing me a favor. I actually agree with them because if he did get banned from this game, his life would probably be better. Then he demonstrates that we really need to turn the mature language filter off because I have no idea what he's saying right now. I mean, it's literally just wall-to-wall profanity. I don't know what that says. Not only will I get IO, I'll get gear and I'll get a higher key if you time it. There's absolutely no downside to me AFKing. I guess he's like firmly believing that this is not bannable. I can assure you that this is bannable. And I can assure you that if you act like this, it is definitely bannable because it's one thing to go AFK, right? It's one thing to actually leave your computer. Like we have showcased a few times. There's still some gray area in there, still a little bit, but this, you're bragging about it, brother. This is against the rules. You will be banned for this. I don't know how you think you won't be banned. I don't know why you think you're this important. I don't know how you think 4 deaths in a 7 when you were 2 of them is cause for this reaction, but honestly, yeah, probably best case scenario here is for this player to actually get like a 7-day suspension or something like that and just go be forced to do something else. He says, I simply do not wish to play with a tank that has no idea what they're doing and gets yeeted off the map. It's always these like overreactions, right? Has no idea what he's doing. Why? Like, what, you got hit by a mechanic, brother. Are you kidding me? You died twice. I really don't know how nobody brings that up. I guess they're just not aware of that. The one demon hunter is trying to be the voice of reason here. He says, just come back into the dungeon. He made one mistake. It's fine. The paladin says, I main DPS and I'm helping my girlfriend with what? Is she in here? She might be the other demon hunter because she hasn't said a word. The shaman says, dude's just garbage at the game. So he would know. He definitely would know. Now we're going to attack that comment. He says, wait, you have an E-girlfriend? I'm sorry, man. This right here is why I hate this dungeon. I want to love it so bad. But look at this absolute nonsense. This group doesn't have anything they can do to stop that mob. It is simply just going to run into that slasher and it's going to aggro. Now he's like speedrunning the ban. He says, I guess somebody needs to date the fatties. That's his words. The demon hunter says, dude, what is wrong with you? It's a great question. Can never get an answer from these guys. What is your main's name? He's asked it twice in a minute now, and guess who's gonna be silent for the first time in the key? It's actually a really good way to get these idiots to shut up. I'm actually really finding it funny that they actually just simply do not need this guy though. Like actually nobody needs him. Not even the tank, not the DPS, nobody. It's like insanely easy. They're gonna pull the boss here as well without the healer, and we are gonna have a funny death here. They didn't need him, but they need each other a little bit more than that. Demon hunter just kind of backpedals into the tank mechanic who just doesn't, kind of just leaves it out in the middle of the room there. So we're gonna have our first death without the shaman. This is our 5th death of the dungeon. First death without a healer, and it's just standing in another mechanic. Can you guys understand? Like, this is ridiculously easy. Watch their health bars as the mechanic happens on the boss. This is actually like unavoidable healing requirement. They take like 5% of their health. We were actually just talking about this on stream yesterday. People were talking about how stressful the healing roll is, and I was saying, like, as a counterpoint, it's like I think there's a lot of keys that simply simply do not need a healer, and this kind of became a little bit of a hot topic. Well, we're watching one now. I mean, you're actually watching one now. We're talking about a low key. It's commonly understood that low keys are harder to heal because players end up taking more damage than they should by standing in mechanics and then expecting you to heal it. This group is actually going to go really far in this dungeon without any actual healing. Like, they literally don't have a healer present. I love where the abandoned vote instance thing is as well. This is where I need it, I think. I don't know why I have it on the side. It should just be in the dead center of the screen so everybody can see it. It pops up, I guess, because that guy is like finally sick of being AFK himself. He literally can just come do the dungeon and get the upgrade still. Like, they're still gonna upgrade this without him. It's really funny. Just, you know, put your fucking dumbass ego aside and come and die 2 more times to casters and we'll upgrade the key. Now he's trying to like manipulate the group. He's trying to convince them that they're doing something wrong. He says, you guys are doing me a favor. I don't get it. No. They just want to finish the key. Do you understand that? Like, that's their favor to them. They want to finish the key. You are not important. You literally are irrelevant here. They've done 74% count. I love the relentless pursuit of the truth here. He says, what is your main's name? And the guy again refuses to answer him, saying, I don't give that information out to Australians. His response as to why he doesn't give it out to Australians, though, is because most Australians are pedophiles. And then he says, can you promise me you won't molest a child if I give it to you? I don't think the name of your World of Warcraft character has anything to do with that. Well, there's a follow-up to that. He says, JK, you're already banging the tank. I don't think if you are talking about pedophilia, you should use the word banging. That is definitely not the right word. I'm just going to move on from that. He's also going to move on from it. He says, so what's your main's name again? I love it. This is the way you treat these people. And he says, do you have to use one of those machines that they use to lift whales to get out of bed? What? He's saying he's overweight? Like, what? Is that common for Australians? Now they're just arguing about his perceived weight issue. I don't like... Okay. Continuing to pursue journalistic integrity here, and the guy continues to deflect and lie and not give him his name. I just what are you guys scared of? I just don't really get it. Like, if you're lying, then I guess you're not going to give the answer, but otherwise, like, I don't really know what you're scared of. I guess there are people out there who like try to pretend that they aren't their character or something like that, and they're trying to get away with shit, I guess, but it's like, I can't imagine how you would get away with that for long. Are you in a guild? Have you ever communicated with another person? This part's kind of weird though. They're fighting the boss again, totally, like, literally do not need a healer. They're doing a 7, no need for a healer whatsoever. The shaman is actually getting the debuff. I don't know where he is. He must be somewhere in the dungeon. Oh, he's right there. Oh, what the hell? Why is he here? It looks like he has actually come all the way up here. He gets the stone thing and he's just standing out there. You see this? He's just up here. Maybe he thinks like he can reset the boss somehow by being outside the gate, but he is actually gonna fucking die again. Like, the scrub that he is, that's just hilarious to me. Can't even survive his own pettiness. So now he's back up here. Now it's time to really show these guys how trolly he can be, and he's gonna go pull even more trash. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter says, you implied your main was higher and that you were better than the Paladin tank by saying this guy was boosted. So what is your main? He's not going to answer you, dude. Anyway, so he brings even more trash out. One Demon Hunter does die to that, and the tank is going to go down as well. So he went from just being AFK and then insulting the person, insinuating he's a pedophile. Like, I mean, these are pretty ridiculous things that are happening in this key already, all probably likely ban worthy. I literally think he's speed running the ban at this point, trying to get banned in every possible way. He is now intentionally pulling trash and wiping them. The warrior says, you realize intentional trolling is also bannable along with being AFK. They keep putting up a new abandoned instance vote and it keeps failing and they keep talking about it. The guy says, I'm just helping the tank pull. Now he's getting salty because he's not necessary. I actually think it's that, honestly. I really do, because I think he thought that they weren't going to be able to continue and he was going to be able to leave. The shaman says, who said I'm salty? And the Demon Hunter says, I did. Do you have a problem with that? The shaman says, well, you're wrong. You've been wrong a lot. About what? Warrior says, why are you so scared of leaving? Great question. This guy leaves keys constantly, right? You can tell. I mean, how else do you find yourself in a situation where you're in a 7 and you're mad that the tank died a single time? I don't really know what you do here, though. The guy is making it really hard. I'm not seeing like the solution to this. Like, he's just running up and aggroing the 4 stone guys whenever they fight this trash. I think maybe you just try to pull this way back and just try to kill it before the stone guys get there. I don't really know. The guy says, why are you doing this? Can you explain it to us? Also, what's your main's name? He says, I gave you guys 3 opportunities to leave. So so I'm just driving the point home. And now we're into the phase where the sociopath believes they're more important than the other 4 people. We see this like every single video, but it's actually crazy to see it written out there. I gave you guys opportunities to do what I want you to do, and you didn't take them. All right. Yeah, he literally says that. He says, you were given an option and you chose not to. I don't know why. Because you're fucking irrelevant. That's why. They don't give a fuck about you. They want to do the dungeon they signed up for. That's why they're here. The guy actually says that. He says, you're actually just a narcissist. Sorry for disobeying you, master. He says, shrug, again, it's your time, not mine. That's the irony here. It is your time though, right? This is the weird part about these people. They always think that like you're wasting their time by being bad, but they are willingly able to waste their own time like 10 times more than you could ever waste it. And now we come to the inevitable part of reporting the guy. You know, it's unfortunate because the reporting system is so inaccurate, but definitely got to report a guy like this. It doesn't even matter. Like, you can pick anything. I think you honestly pick text chat here. It's clear this guy's broken like every possible rule. Like, they literally broke every possible rule. He called the guy a fucking pedophile. Like, this is definitely a reportable offense here. You have to report the guy. Anyway, we're back to the chat. He says, we could have just abandoned at the beginning like I suggested. The Demon Hunter says, why would we do that? He says, because this tank sucks ass. Does he? He just survived the whole dungeon without you. The sad part is we could have 2-chested it. You just have a big ego. I mean, it's not even an ego. You're just wrong. Like, actually incorrect. He says, am I wrong? I'm not. You know, you are wrong. Yes, the guy. I mean, but what evidence do you have that the guy sucks? He literally just did the whole dungeon without a healer. The other Demon Hunter is finally speaking up, saying, we didn't need to abandon. You just can't handle that you suck. Yep. And then ultimately, another vote to abandon is going to come up here, and instead of trying to figure this out and work around this, they are going to disband. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think this guy really would have dug his hole really deep here. And the last comment in the dungeon is an interesting one. He says, well, I get the +6 that I wanted, and the only thing you guys got was 30 minutes of your time wasted. GG. I've seen a lot of really weird and dumb and like newbie statements, but to say I got the 6 I wanted, it's like, what the fuck game are you playing? Anyway, so here's actually a very interesting situation going on right now. Because we're outside the party and outside the dungeon, the guy is still physically there. So you can actually find the gameplay sabotage report feature there. For some reason, it is not present when you're inside a group. I think it's a group, but it's also definitely not present when you're inside a dungeon with the players. But the gameplay sabotage feature is finally there. How about this? This is where it should have been the whole time. This is what you should report people for. You look at all these different options. The guy literally did all 4 of these things, right? Non-participation, intentionally dying, blocking team progress, disruption. Those are just 4 of the things you can report the guy for. Then on top of that, the text chat, right? Like, this guy could be reported for like 7 or 8 different things. It's actually great that he's able to do this. This is, yeah, you can actually choose all 4 of them. That's really funny. All of the above, he types it in the box. Not sure how frequently you would be able to do this. This might be a seminal moment in this situation here. If you can get them to do this and then walk out of the dungeon and kick them out of the group, or get them to leave the group or something like that, and their physical character is still there, you might actually be able to report them the proper way here. So that's actually pretty exciting stuff to be able to see that in real time, to see the proper report. It's like a myth almost, like a ghost in the wild. I haven't seen it. It's like one thing to be like, well, the key's not going to be in time, bro. You know, like a lot of the people come out of the woodwork to say that, but I'd love to hear how you can defend this guy. Let's see it. Stay tuned. It's been a wild season so far. I'm sure we're going to have even more wildness. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for submitting as well, by the way. All the great submissions this season. I'm already way backed up, but we will get to as many as we can. So thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.